Welcome back to Red Sky City Cyberpunk Conspiracy. This is our Phase 2 finale. If you're just joining us, you have a lot to catch up on. Our heroes are breaking into the control tower of the Hakudo Maru, an abandoned derelict ship, and somebody's opening it from the inside. Now, at this precise moment, as heavy footsteps echo inside the bridge, and the wheels on the hatches begin to spin, screaming through the rust, another sound rises from the very bowels of the hold of this cargo ship. A horrendous buzzing, a howling swarm that rises up. And you all get static on your local comms channel. It just starts.
Hello?
I would like to immediately activate the jammer that we had that jams all local frequencies. Because I do not want them getting into our stuff. I'd rather we all went blind.
Okay. At that moment, all your comms cut out. The jammer kicks in and a high-pitched overrides them.
Now we're split up though, right?
Mm-hmm. Half of you, well, the two of you are on top opening it from above, but you're all close enough to be within the radius of the jammer because you're all around this ship.
No, but I hear the jammer go off. So my comms go off of them. So I'm now kind of concerned that something happened to the party down below. Which makes me...
I mean, you know that I would have activated it. Like, you know that I had the jammer, and you know that...
Would I?
It takes a physical activation. Like, it wouldn't just go off if I died or something, you know? It's not like...
Also, bigger concern, the fucking door is opening in front of us, Monarch. It's just me and you now.
Oh, yeah, no, I have that rocket launcher primed and ready to go. So...
Yeah.
Jonah's also holding his EMP grenade downstairs, just saying.
Could be a friendly cannibal, could be a friendly robot, could also be...
No, it's a fish person. It's 100% a fish person.
Could also be a rogue AI that's about to slaughter us with mantis blades. Just hold the line, you know? Just...
Oh, no, I'm hodl. We good.
Okay.
Diamond hands, baby.
Blackened claw peeks through the gap in the hatch below.
I fucking knew it, dude.
In the hatch below, not us. In the hatch below.
In the hatch below.
I know, but
Are we talking lobster
long,
claw?
rectangular fingers. And as it pushes open, it reveals the inside of the bridge. A robotic frame stands in front of you. As it opens the door, it has an assault rifle leveled directly at you. Behind it is another one of those large walkers, flamethrower pilot light lit and pointing directly at the door.
Okay. I mean, I was immediately freaked out by the creepy claws, but when I see the other robot, they told me those were on our side, so I'm not immediately opening fire. I'm kind of standing silent, ready to see what's occurring.
Jerax and Monarch, as the hatch opens, you hear a voice echoing out from beneath.
Employees, take cover immediately. Security breach.
Wait a minute. Do all of us have RFIDs?
Yes.
Apart from the fact that mine and Josh's is the same. So...
Take shelter immediately.
Maybe it's just like a...
And another one of these, clearly you recognize this, Monarch, as it opens the hatch as a combat robot. A humanoid frame, carbon fiber alloy on the outside, integrated assault rifle. It is opening the hatch upwards with the gun leveled towards it. And you can see it's got a camera at the top of its head, so it doesn't have to, look up at you as it opens the hatch.
And is it leveling the assault rifle at us?
Yes, it is covering the entrance as it opens it.
Well, this isn't what I was expecting.
Take shelter immediately.
I think we should step inside, Monarch.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, Jerax and Monarch, are you ducking inside?
Yes.
Okay, you drop down the ladder into the room. Natalie, Jonah, and Jim.
Employees, take shelter immediately. Security breach.
As soon as Natalie sees the robot, she's like, "Oh, phew!" and she heads right in the door. So.
Oh Lord.
Jonah will follow. Jim?
I'm gonna take out the wedge that I was using in the door, and try and as quickly as I can undo any of the damage I did to the seal, if that's gonna be the thing between us and the drones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna walk in, and I'm gonna try and engage the robot in conversation, not idle conversation. Obviously, I'm gonna ask it like, what is the security breach? Where is everybody? Just like panicked kind of random questions. Not because I particularly want those answers, but because I'm trying to get something. I'm trying to get it to say something specific that isn't just part of its protocol, to see if it responds to anything specific.
Roll a conversation check. You can see as you enter the room, Jerax and the Monarch ducking inside as well, jumping down the ladder into the room.
So it's a small room.
Yeah, relatively speaking, it is, 30 meters across.
Let's go.
Right. Wow. 22 in conversation.
Natural. Critical. Okay. As you all enter the room, you notice each other. You can see that there are 4 ground drone robots and one of the large walkers. You also see that metal has been lifted up from the floor itself and bolted onto all the outsides. It is dark in here. Like, it's almost impossible to see anything outside. It's all been sealed up. Pieces have been repurposed from this superstructure to seal gaps wherever possible.
Right.
Unknown artificial intelligence. Garden protocol initiated.
Is this all I can get out of it? It's just kind of. Or do you want me to role play the conversation?
No. As you're hastily.
You will be safe soon. It's going to be okay.
What a kind robot.
Is the room lit? Can we see inside of it?
Barely. You should be able to see on the battle map.
Right.
So you've got large control consoles in the front, hatches, safes, bulkhead down here, bulkhead up here that they just entered through, fire equipment over here, storage lockers, cabinets, and 4 chairs in the middle of the room, all hooked up with wires that trail under the floor.
Does anything have power in the room other than the very bare bones lighting?
This room is powered.
Right.
The mainframe over here along this side is lit up and operational. I'm gonna
Did I do any damage to the door? Oh yeah, go on then.
Roll a basic tech check.
13.
You think you patched it up. You hope you patched it up.
All right. Okay.
There's no obvious damage. All right, let's run through the rest of the group. Jerax, once you drop in, you can see there are 4 of these security robots. You can see 4 net running chairs, all gathered in a circle around the middle of the room, wired up to all this equipment here. What do you do?
What is this here?
That is a storage cabinet for emergency supplies, first aid kits, repair equipment, etc. It appears to have been used a long time ago.
Okay. I would turn to one of the robots and try and, through conversation, access some of its logs. So I would be like, I don't know. Access system logs. When was the last time an employee stepped foot in here? Give me your timestamps. Something along those lines, you know? Trying to spur up some sort of command to trigger in some information.
Arasaka employees have remained in this position for the last 25 years.
Remained in this position.
Employees.
Arasaka employees maintaining positions.
And sorry, I meant 23 years.
The chairs are empty, right?
They are empty.
What is the state of the garden protocol?
The garden integrity is secure.
I don't like this.
Have there been any breaches in garden protocol?
There have been no breaches. This partition is isolated.
The hell have we walked into, man?
Who has admin access? Ask him who has admin access.
1, 2, and 4 have granted admin access.
1, 2, and 4.
Do we have any numbers on our IDs?
You do not.
Who doesn't have admin access?
Natalie, the gigantic fuck-off robot right next to you says,
Employee, are you properly equipped to enter the garden?
Natalie pats it gently as she's still focused on the conversation in front of her and says, answer my questions and we'll get to yours.
well, what questions do you have? And then I want to take Golden Boy's questions or actions.
I also just want to try and get it to spit out kind of any diagnostic protocols it's run, what is available on the ship, when they say that the garden is partitioned, what do the other partitions hold?
Unknown. Access is lost. Hostile artificial intelligence has seized control of all outside systems pre-air gap. This unit is partitioned. The garden is partitioned.
How many are currently in the garden?
Muted.
16.
Everyone gain 1 IP.
Yeah, I'm going to take 1 improvement point. Thank you so much.
Can we contact the entities in the garden?
Employees should enter the garden immediately.
Ignore that.
I would like proof of garden health and, I don't know, servers. Oh man, I'm running an eco server right now. What do we do?
Presumably new employees would have to go undergo some kind of training protocol, right? So these robots might have some kind of training protocol for the garden. Like they might actually be able to, as if we were a new employee, might be able to run us through it.
But no, these are military robots. This is pure protection.
The flamethrower one isn't, is it?
All of them are.
Or maybe
they are military design. They are military chassis.
Maybe the panels have more information though.
Golden Boy, I want to check in with you, and then we'll get to Sideshow and Bren.
I mean, I want to actually take a look at the panels to my right. and just kind of get an idea as to what the heck I'm looking at as best I can.
Roll a basic tech check. This all looks like it should be ship navigation, monitoring, fuel, temperature, sensor arrays, ballast, all that good stuff. Roll basic tech.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I do that again. I completely forgot.
No worries. You should have basic tech on your character sheet as a skill. It should be on there.
I'm looking. I don't have it.
All right. All characters are supposed to have here. Basic tech, 2 ranks. Bam. Just added it at the bottom of your character sheet.
Tight. Well, I can't tell shit.
Yeah. I mean, you're not exactly a ship operative, you know. Water vehicle tech is not your forte.
But I can tell that at the very least, this has nothing to do with what is going on with the chairs.
I mean, you really can't tell that. I will say that some of the monitors are just scrolling green commands, just scrolling at a rapid pace, but you have no idea what it means.
I'm gonna call over the guy who thinks he's a net runner and have him basically help my boomer ass figure out what's up with the internet. So, Jerax, would you like to, or I should say, yeah, I'm just gonna call you over. I'm not gonna call you. I'm just gonna look in your direction and tell you to come here, because I don't want to say any names in case they're listening.
Yeah. My plan of action is to buy us some time so we can snoop around this area. So what I'd like to do, if you'll allow it, is I figure that these military robots have some like instilled basic commands where they are, okay, this is our protocol right now. Ensure that the employees are safe, for one, because they opened the door for us and that other robot helped us. 2, get them into the garden protocol. But presumably, there is some sort of exit out of the garden protocol. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to... There's probably some magic keywords that can be uttered from somebody who has a higher priority to end that. What I'm trying to do is put a stop to... I'm basically trying to get them into like almost like a boot loop. I know how computers work. You know, you got the post, the power on south test. You got some point the BIOS gets loaded or something into the RAM. I don't know. I want to try and get them stuck into some sort of loop at the beginning of the structure. Anything? Is there anything I can hack nearby using my interface?
There are no wireless transmissions going on in this room whatsoever. Nothing here is on Bluetooth or wireless or radio or anything like that. This is a dead zone. Anything that would have been transmitting has been disconnected. It is all hardwired. There are lots of control panels and computer consoles that you could walk up and, you know, tap, tap, tap on, or you could talk to the robots, or you could try to like physically plug yourself into something, but nothing here is on Wi-Fi.
Okay, I'm gonna try and physically plug myself into something. I have yeah. Into
what are you looking to plug into?
Into the control panel.
Okay. Roll an interface check.
Oh my fucking god. That is just absurd.
Okay.
No, I'm like plugging in the aux cable into the USB port. I'm just like, none of it's working. I'm like, what's going on?
Wow.
And it's all 23-year-old technology, so it's going to take you a moment to figure that out. While we're doing that, I want to give the rest of you a chance to interact, inspect the room, etc.
Please hurry. Your lives are in danger.
Dude,
I
how?
don't feel like the integrity of the Garden Protocol has been proven to us enough for us to engage with the Garden Protocol, and so I would like it to spit out any sort of information. And is there any way we would be able to contact the other 16 users in the Garden?
How are you asking? Are you just literally saying that, or how are you approaching this?
I am kind of just like shouting like computer tech kind of phrases at it in a similar way that might have that kind of like input key, like contact garden users, call garden, dial garden.
Okay, roll a basic tech check.
28.
Oh
my God.
baby.
What?
Wow. Okay, the robot immediately next to you just looks at you, twitches for a moment.
Shishido, Kudo, Mika, Fumika, Jun. Have you been outside?
Hello?
Wait, what?
My name is Shishido, Chu, Kudo, Akira, Kojima, Mika, Mihara, Fumiko.
Tumiko-kun, are you guys okay? Is this the garden? Am I talking to the garden right now?
This unit is partitioned. We are not the garden. Have you been outside? Is everything alright out there?
Shishido, I don't know what you think is outside, but nothing's okay. Shishido, can you hear me?
Is everyone in Tokyo alright?
Shishido, who are you asking about in Tokyo?
My family.
What year do you think it is, Shishido?
Records indicate 2045.
Shishido, I don't know if your family's okay. There's a chance they might be, but we won't find out anything if we can't get out of this situation. So we're gonna need all the information that you and the other 15 of you have.
Direct interface is available here.
And the unit points to these chairs.
Oh, I don't want to get in.
Auxiliary interface is available here.
And it points to the console.
Oh.
Primary interface is not an option. Initialize auxiliary interface. Natalie, like, looks over at Jerax and, like, shrugs.
I'm like...
Monarch and Jim wanted to check in with you, then we'll go to Jerax.
I got nothing, dude. This is way out of my pay grade.
I'm gonna explore the primary interface. Because if we don't have any success with the auxiliary, like actual monitors that are on the side of the wall, then someone's gonna have to hook in. And listen, I'm down to explore the garden. But I'm just looking at it at the moment. I'm looking at it, I'm seeing how it would work, I'm trying to figure the system out. I'm trying to see what's required in order to use it. Like, presumably you would have to interface with it, but it's going to be like 23-year-old technology, and I don't even know how like that stuff would work. That's before I've even been born.
So you take a look
it's
at...
not. I was like 40, I think my character was.
Yeah, so you were around back then.
Yeah.
You've seen some shit.
Of this stuff.
So when you take a look at... These are net running chairs. Before the net collapsed, it was a virtual reality instead of an augmented reality. So you would jack into the network and it'd be, Ready Player One, The Matrix, etc. A complete virtual world, and your mind could travel anywhere across the entire... You could send your brain all the way up into orbit to access systems up there. And so the way that you did it was with a setup like this, where your neural interface plug would connect to the net running gear and your deck, and you just sort of sit there, chilling in meat space while your brain went all over the place. So in order to access the garden, you need to have certain cyberware. You need to have a neural interface, which I believe you do not.
No, I do not. But I assume Jerax does.
If he's a netrunner, then he does.
I would relay that back to Jerax as well.
Oh, God.
Monarch, you also have a neural interface because you're hooked up to connect with smart guns.
Well, what do you know? Ain't that a bitch? Jeez. I mean, I don't even know. I'm looking down, right, at this panel, and there's like a keyboard, or what I think might be a keyboard, and I don't even know what that does. You know, so I'm like tapping things, and I'm just like looking around. So I'm in a state of kind of like disbelief because I'm waiting at, you know, I'm waiting at any point in time for these things to turn around and start shooting us. So I still have the rocket launcher like here, and I'm just like, the fuck is this?
Monarch, roll a tactics check.
I don't like that. You just got all inquisitive out of nowhere about something. 19.
These are not acting like military robots.
Well.
They're aiming guns, they're pointing guns, they're yelling commands, but like their micro behaviors and movement, these are not acting like standard issue combat drones.
Are they acting? You're saying that they're acting different.
Mm-hmm.
How are they moving? Like, are they moving drone-like, or are they kind of just like chilling?
Every so often, there's an impulse or a twitch that looks like fear.
You see, man, this is why Hispanic people don't. We just don't leave the mainland. You know. This is why we keep our feet planted on solid ground. You know, because if it ain't these things, it's the fish. It ain't these people.
Specifically, you're saying that Hispanic people are scared of going onto ships that are manned by
I'm
AI
saying
that
more,
may not be actual AI.
I'm saying more this Hispanic person.
Right. You're not generalizing.
But you know, I do feel like at times, right, like, you know, you wouldn't catch one of us trying to jump out of an airplane for fun. You know what I'm saying? We don't put ourselves in situations that we don't need to put ourselves in. We're practical people.
Monarch's here now.
Yeah, because I got dragged by 2 Brits and a crazy ass corpo girl. Damn it, this is all fucked up. Jesus. Anyway, well, I relay this to the rest of the group. It doesn't look like they're combat, but I think that there's something more to these drones. And do I hear Natalie talking to?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna tell Natalie. I'm just gonna say I think these whoever you're talking to in there is control of the rest of these drones. They're clearly in some freaking magical plane of existence, and I don't know what the hell's going on. But tell me what you need me to do, and I'll do it, because I'm confused.
You're telling me
Floor's
the robots
open.
are gonna be people? I mean, that means they have empathy? This is a best case scenario.
I wouldn't think about the empathy part. You know, it's been a while, and after some time, you kind of lose the humanity of it all once you're tucked away inside of a robot for this long. Think about it. And then again, you're a corpo, so you're all kind of drones anyway.
Yeah, but I watch a lot of very romantic daytime TV, so Natalie would turn to the nearest robot and look up in its face and kind of like gently cup it and be like, "Are you in there?"
Lord have mercy. What are we got ourselves?
Your life is in danger. Please enter the garden.
I can't enter the garden. I need another option.
Why not?
Oh god.
My port was damaged.
That checks out.
Oh my god. Joe was about to get us all killed.
Oh my god.
Oh, Lord have mercy. There it is.
The garden contains knowledge necessary to implement repairs. Please stand by. We will initiate a transfer.
I'm sorry, what?
The garden contains information necessary to operate repairs. Please stand by. We will initiate a transfer.
You will not. I do not consent.
I'm gonna take everybody aside for a moment though, and talk to them about that, and just say they said initiate a transfer, like of consciousness from one person to another, controlling the bot. We could. I think we're dealing with humans inside these drones.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. It's just further evidence, mate. It's just further evidence.
I understand
your
that.
panties in a twist.
But
Not
how the
very
hell are we
human
supposed to get
anymore.
out of here? And what the hell are they trying to protect us from? It can't just be bees.
No, they're trying to protect their own minds from the rogue AI. I think the military robots have a protocol to protect all employees, but the employees are shelved in the robots because it's the only place their minds can be. But there's 16 people stored in the robots, which doesn't leave you a lot of thinking room. So I think I don't know. I don't know how to not insane yet.
Well,
What
so
if we offer them another option? What if we tell them there's an escape besides the garden, and we have them escort us out of here? We take them on the boats. We rescue the robot.
And where we're gonna put them? You
They'll
got
be,
spare bodies?
Yes, we got. Oh, each
Yeah.
are gonna have a friend.
How many
I can
bodies we
find-
got?
I can find so many spare bodies in Night City. But do people-
Nobody has ever successfully transferred a consciousness to a human body.
And
Oh,
it
yeah,
ain't
I
gonna
had
be
a
us
best-
4 assholes who figure it out.
Didn't
Our
say
best bet.
human body, did I? We've got more
Valid.
drones. We can just
Our
shove
best
them in
bet.
Robo
infinite
pups.
amounts. Well, not infinite amounts of drones. You can't split a consciousness, as far as I'm aware. But
Okay, I think this is our best bet. We need to talk to somebody who understands our situation. I think we should also maybe lie about our situation. They know that we're here 25, 23 years later. We should probably imply that we have been sent here by Arasaka to collect them as a rogue
Yeah.
operation and find
Yeah,
some
well,
way
yeah,
find some
what do
way to
we-
get them out of here.
do the people that were here know these people? And I'm gonna waggle like our ID tags.
Hmm,
Like, do they know us?
maybe.
I hope
Does
not.
it matter? If they'll fight on our side,
I don't
then
want
they'll
to have
protect us on
to
the way
make
out.
small
can-
talk with
we
them
can just
like I'm
make
at
an
a
excuse
work
if we do.
party.
If they wonder who we are, we'll say we're an advanced security force sent by Arasaka with cloned RFID chips, and these are the only ones that the system would recognize because it's
Okay,
been so
I like
long.
the plan. I like the plan. I think I love the plan. Let me take point on the storytelling. Jax, get into the machines.
Okay, yeah.
We need some access inside.
Yep, will do.
Okay, let's go around the room. Jerax, what are you doing?
Now that they've shown me where the interface hole is, I'm like,
Mhm.
I can see why they updated this now, and I'm gonna try and enter it through here.
Okay. You connect your neural link to the system. Everything blurs, your vision flickers as a virtual environment reses around you. You've experienced something like this before in the bunker when you temporarily entered its network architecture, an old net network architecture. That one manifested as a pagoda. This one has a different appearance. A moment, please.
As a fucking garden.
Oh god. Oh,
Let me make
my
sure.
God.
You are standing in a beautiful, walled, peaceful garden. A pool of deep blue, almost black water is completely still. Lily pads float atop it, not moving a single micrometer. There are individuals standing in the garden, just sort of milling around. Many of them look completely identical, constructs filled with violet light. 4 of them stand on stepping stones in the middle of the water.
Hello there.
Arasaka employee
You have gained access via the auxiliary console. What are you doing?
Correct.
The Garden Protocol states that you're supposed to use the net running chair in case of emergencies.
Who am I speaking to currently?
3.
Was it 1, 2,
Roll
and 4 that had
situation-
admin
1, 2, and
access?
4. 1, 2, and 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's 3?
It is this one right here.
Yeah, he looks like a douche.
The situation has changed outside. Arasaka has need of the data and information that's available in this subsection of the net. And I have been sent to collect you.
Provide authorization.
I have no authorization. The situation has changed. Arasaka no longer has any sort of business or authority in Night City itself. They've been banned from, what is it called?
The continental United States.
Yeah, the continental United States. Yeah. They've been banned from the continental United States. The situation, we haven't been provided much information as to what to expect here, and we certainly weren't expecting a rogue AI when we came all the way out here, but you are needed in Tokyo.
Transportation is impossible. You'd have to move the entire vessel.
Then I shall do that.
All right. Meanwhile, back in meat space.
Jarex has just talked himself into towing a wreck to Tokyo. Cool. Negotiations going super well inside the garden.
All right, so Jarex is plugged into the system, and unlike AR, like, he can still talk in meat space, but this consumes his entire... It's not like he can really operate in meat space very effectively. He can take mental actions, but he can't move around. He can sort of mouth things, if necessary. I'm thinking of the scene in Legend of Korra where Zahir is meditating into the spirit world, but his body is still able to whisper things.
Lord almighty, I've just got to that season. No spoilers, please.
All right, I'll shut up. It's a great scene. You'll love it. Anyways, what are the rest of you doing?
I feel utterly useless. And there's no way I'm gonna go into the Matrix and fuck this whole thing up, because I do not have the mental capability to be able to do this.
One thing I will say, Monarch, is you hear just an absolute racket of buzzing and humming and on the outside of the ship, getting louder and louder, and you can hear just the metal vibrating as millions of drones begin to accumulate on the outside of the tower.
Well, I'm going to relay that to the rest of the party, which I'm sure they're hearing it, but
they're starting to hear it. Yes, you would have heard it first.
Everyone knows what this is. And I think I'm starting to piece together what happened to the bodies that perhaps they were disposed of because they were eventually going to rot, and they needed to get, how many people were inside? 16 or 12?
16.
16, and there's 4 chairs. And I think I think Jerax said it, that there was just one person, or maybe they took over the drone and they just took the bodies and put them on top of the thing. Took the body, put it on top of the thing, and then they just all chopped up the little bodies and dragged it all down. Holy crap, that is just a real shit way to go.
It's quite metal. Now, I'm gonna, before I engage these drones in conversation using my wit and intelligence, I'm gonna take Monarch off to a side, and I'm gonna say to Monarch, you're the only person apart from Jerax that has the ability to hook into this primary system. There's a real world in which we need you with no skill in net running at all to go in there and help him, either to save him, to provide the extra authority to what he's saying, something. I mean, I can't do it. Natalie can't do it. Jonah can't do it. It's only you. It's only you and Jerax.
Oh my god. What the hell does that even look like?
I mean, I'll hold your rocket launcher, but we might need to plug you in.
Why would you need to plug me in? That doesn't make any sense. Jerax can clearly handle this himself. What am I going to do? I can't do anything.
Never, ever, ever don't believe in yourself, Monarch. You've solved situations where Jerax has been a dickhead before in the past. Remember when he put his pants on his head? What's to say that things don't get tough in the garden and he walks out with his pants on his head and we all die? Huh? You want to leave all of our fate in the hands of that bozo?
Fine. Only because I remember the pants and it just wasn't a good situation.
I'm not saying it's required now. I'm just saying mentally prep yourself. It's probably going to happen.
Well, then Monarch's going to go and stand by one of these chairs. By the way, all my vision's been blocked off. But,
yeah, I saw that. I should be able to fix that for you.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to one of the chairs. I'm going to agree with him. And I'm just going to stand by and wait for the call to get jacked into the fucking Matrix. Oh, you're all going to die.
Monarch, as the two of you are having this conversation, one of the war drones walks over, extracts a cable, and plugs it into the console. It's the one that was just talking to Natalie. All right, so I'm going to take Jim Fingers, and then I'm going to take Natalie, and then we're going to go back to Jerax.
Jim is waiting really for the robot to talk to Natalie because he wants to try and talk to whoever Natalie's talking to go in the direction that once Natalie, he's presuming that Natalie's gonna say that she doesn't want repairs probably, and Jim's gonna try and intercede with this whole plan about being an Arasaka extraction company and try and like bail her out of that situation. But for the meantime, he's just going to be exploring the other things on the opposite side of the room to the consoles, like the safes and those kind of areas, just to make sure that there's nothing that was stored away that would provide extra information or that they've missed. Cracking them open, basically going through them.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you and let you roll a check when we come back to you. Natalie, what are you doing? One of the robots, not the one you're talking to, but another one sort of in response to that, just connected to this mainframe over here.
So when you say the robot connected to the mainframe, like, it just kind of meandered over there and started, like, plugging stuff in? Like, do I have any sense it's related to me or my conversation?
Yeah, it was after they said,
a transfer will be initiated to enable repairs.
The robot walked over and started plugging in.
Yeah, after I tell them I won't consent to any update repairs, we need to establish the health of the garden server. We have reports that this is not a good place to go. So I'm going to need to continue to get sort of, what I want to do is like a library search of, they've already revealed like how many users are in there, who are the admins. I kind of want more of like a ship diagnostic in general, where any other like power sources are on the ship, which I think it was just the engine room is the only other source. Like if we wanted to turn off the enemy AI, we'd have to go down there.
Apparently. As you're doing so, the one next to you...
Arasaka Standard Contract, Sub-Article 45, states that in the event of an emergency of this case, employee consent is not required for cybernetic modification when said cybernetics are mandatory for all Arasaka employees and remain company property even after installation.
The contracts have been long updated. You yourself said this is 23-year-old information. As your admin in this situation, I'm going to need you to stand down here and, as soon as possible, update your protocols to 2045 standards. Stand down.
Roll bureaucracy check.
Worked it in the neutral.
Actually dominated.
Neutral.
All right. As you start rattling off all sorts of stuff, the robot sort of looks like, well, that might be true. I don't know.
Please stand by while we consult with management.
And
yes.
it glances over at the robot that's currently connecting into the garden.
Oh my god, did I just see the robot's manager?
Yeah, you rolled to Karen, and you were very successful.
Oh, that's good.
Give me a library search check. All right, what information are you after? Aside from speaking to the manager.
So, I kind of want to get a snapshot of like what was happening right before they air gapped themselves and shut everything down. So any sort of like full ship, like the last like full ship diagnostics, anything that they have as far as like mapping that we could walk through. I would assume they're doing like security protocol things, like we get notice of movement anywhere. I'd like to know where all the employees were on the ship when things happened. If the 16 here represent what sounds like most of the crew, I think there's probably like another 4 or 5 unaccounted for. If they have any sense of where those died.
All right, you're going to start piecing together a picture of what happened. It started out with the communication navigation system failure, and then systems began to go offline and malfunction. They lost track of 4 employees who were in the engine room when they lost control of the engines. They executed a manual override to cut a physical connection between the engine and the main drive so that the ship would stop moving. But a lot of the error logs contain tons of profanity in it. Like, it'll just be, system number 35, non-responsive. Ping to outside satellite failed. Ping to your mom's house repeated multiple times.
Is that a signature of like the Rabbids virus? Are they
yes.
particularly profane?
Yes. Like it just starts like, and these are usually the last bit of the log before the log gets cut. And so you can see this sort of just assholery percolating throughout all these logs. And the ship does not have a great diagnostic of what happened because very quickly after individual systems were affected, the viruses spread and they started taking over more things. And so the ship does not have a great snapshot of what happened. They do know that they were able to successfully execute a physical decoupling from the drive shaft to stop the ship from moving. And then everything else, like the automated systems, the automated logs ended shortly after that. And the crew did not keep manual logs because they were busy fighting for their lives.
And then the locations of all the other security robots and sort of they seem to be active and working on our behalf. So if we could go from security robot to security robot on our way down to the engine room, we could be guaranteed some sort of defense.
Nobody's online. No contact is listed with anything outside this room. Whatever that security robot was.
Not contact, but like a station list. Obviously, they can't move between floors because they're kind of chunky boys.
Right.
So, like, would it be like, yeah, we typically have 2 security level per level, or?
Yeah, there should be a total of 24 of these anthropomorphic combat robots on board, and 12 of the larger walkers. It's usually like 1 per deck, with a few exceptions, like the actual ballast down below doesn't have any. One of them is assigned to guard the helm at all times, and there were a few other distributed. So you have a rough distribution of where they would be.
And any in the engine room?
Yes, 2.
2 walkers? Ready. And do they happen to have like a 3D model of the ship on its construction? Like, are there any like human tubes where we could basically like shoot right down from the tower into the engine room and
not straight down from the tower into the engine room, because the tower isn't above the engine room. The engine room is in the back of the ship, and the tower is more midship. So you've got an idea of how to get from point A to point B, and you've got an idea of like the sneakiest, most secure route in order to get there. So that would definitely help.
Okay, I'm gonna hit print on all this and then just turn around with like an armful of 8.5 by 11.
All right, Jim, you were waiting to respond to this, and then we're going to go to Jerax after that.
Yeah, honestly, I was waiting to respond to it, but it seems like Natalie's kind of got it under lock. I feel like she's absolutely owning it with bureaucracy, so I don't want to interfere and mess it up, because my acting skills are non-existent. So I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm just gonna continue looking at the things on the side, exploring the area, and if things get to a point where I need to intercede, then I will.
Okay. You get the impression that the primary CPU, like the actual supercomputer, is directly beneath the floor, and it has its own onboard power supply. Possibly some kind of nuclear battery, not the kind of nuclear battery that can, explode or cause fission or fusion or anything like that, but something that's sort of air-gapped, vacuum sealed, and is just going to keep pumping out power for a long time. This whole room is designed to be isolation.
Okay. There's no papers, there's no documents, there's nothing physical for the people that would be here to use.
Not particularly. There's a fire axe, there's a blowtorch with about half of its fuel expended.
Okay. All
right. Meanwhile, in the garden, Jerax, you notice some of the luminescent figures standing around. They suddenly look upwards, and the trees and the plants move as if in an unseen breeze. Something is happening, something is changing in this virtual reality.
I would direct myself then towards the four that are standing on the stepping stones and say that surely this was one of your projections that Arasaka would come back to claim what is theirs. The data you have, obviously, there are some things you can't take into account. Night City being an independent state, probably not one of them.
We assumed any attempted...
Wrong voice.
We assumed any attempted recovery would involve top-level Arasaka protocols, or authorization from Hanako Arasaka.
That would be the usual attempt, if only Arasaka was allowed to operate in Night City itself. But unfortunately, a mission of this scale requires a bit of discretion involved. That's why we have been sent in. As you can tell from our employee tags, clearly not the employees from 23 years ago. These have been sent us. We didn't set off any security protocols on the way in. And now our job is to find a way out with you alongside us.
Roll an acting check.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
For fuck's sake,
sincere.
dude.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, he's good. Oh, he's good.
You know what? Just for good measure, I'll slap a bit of luck up on top.
How much you got?
I got 2. I'll put 1 on.
Okay.
I'll make it a nice round 16.
Yeah, the one time we needed that shit to work, bro.
First off, I need you to roll an interface check.
Okay. Well.
Right. The wind blowing through the garden is data transfer. It's extracting data from the trees, the leaves, so on and so forth. There is information in those areas, and you realize this is a small virtual reality. Like, from everything you understand about Soul Killer and about downloading human engrams, they take a massive amount of space. Like, this is no Hitoshi. This is no, enormous data bank. It might be fairly large by normal computing circumstances, but to hold 16 consciousness, this walled garden is all there is. That is all the space. And of all the individuals you see here, only 4 of them are distinct from each other. 3 looks to the others.
The information contained in the garden is irrelevant. The information protected by the garden is relevant. Unless Hanako has made progress in her research, this process is irreversible. We would like to be saved if possible, but that is not our mission.
That's what I was after. Some sort of element of humanity to just tug along now in this little scheme that I've cooked up. That was what I wanted. And I've got it. Okay.
Have you come for Deep 4?
Deep 4 is part of it.
You gotta be kidding me, dude.
But your lives also come into the grand plan of the Empire of Arasaka. We all have a part to play, and yours will be allowing Arasaka to operate once again into Night City.
We have no active sensors to detect your capability to transport this entire room to a proper facility. What mechanism do you have to extract us?
What's the half-life of the data in any of these military robots that are outside?
Those partitions are temporary duplicates with essential information only.
Is there any way that they would be able to hold the information temporarily until we could put it into another data store?
They are drastically insufficient. Anything you extract from them will be the simple protocols uploaded for temporary convenience, such as the cyber surgery protocols being uploaded now so we can secure the rest of your crew.
Yeah.
Even this construct is insufficient. Most of us are in deep compression.
Same.
That's why they're they're like drone looking.
The only way is going to be physically moving the ship.
Deep 4 can be extracted via a much smaller vessel. You must secure Deep 4 and return it to Arasaka.
Your lives would also be quite useful, though.
Our parameters are clear. It's our honor to die if necessary, though we would prefer not to.
If you can extract Deep 4 and transfer it into me, I will get it to Tokyo. And if the possibility is there, we will try and save you afterwards.
You can tell that they're conferring with each other silently. The pond ripples beneath them and sort of back and forth. All of this happens in microseconds. I want to check in on Meat Space. The robot is essentially erasing the personality fragments it no longer needs and uploading personality fragments from members of the crew who are trained in cyber surgery in order to repair your neural plug, Natalie.
No.
Are the rest of you doing anything at this time?
How long has it been since Jerax plugged in?
6 seconds? Maybe, a little bit longer? You can hear the buzzing on the outside. Your jammer's still running, right?
Yes, the jammer is still running. But I think that's only for local communications. It wouldn't affect these kind of systems, right?
Correct.
Could we upload?
All of you receive a text on your agents.
Knock, knock.
I think the bees are texting us.
Smash the agents. I can still act in while I'm plugged in, right?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna get out my agent, chuck it at Jim, and like destroy it quick. with my eyes closed.
Drool coming down your side, you know.
Yeah.
I don't
That's just
know.
a-
I don't know. They can't really do any damage with our agents. It's not like our agents have a switchblade attached to them or anything.
Doesn't it connect to other systems?
Roll a. So right now, what you can tell, this is an outside message. This is not, the call's not coming from inside the house. Your agents are not compromised at this time because you have the jammer running.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to consider Jerax's decision to be, or command to be a little flawed because his face is stuck inside VR. I'm gonna pocket his agent, but I'm like, I'll keep it safe for him. It's actually quite expensive, that. I'm gonna text it back.
Profanity.
I'm gonna text it back and say, "What's your profanity?"
You can get something awful back.
Eat my ass.
He wants a knock-knock joke.
Yeah, I'm gonna text back who's there. Rich.
Rach.
Oh, Rach. Rach who?
And you hear heavy, large metal footsteps at the base of the tower.
Oh no.
What? Sorry, what was the punchline? I didn't even get that.
It wasn't a very good joke.
Okay, right.
You dragged my name through the mud for
Rich
nothing.
Bartmoss is the guy who unleashed the virus that destroyed the internet.
Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't really have anything else that I want to do from the outside, to be honest. I think
Okay.
I would be talking to Monarch to try and persuade him to get in there, though.
Because I hear that sound, and I know that that is something. Now, the sound as it stands, does it seem like it's like running up the tower, or does it sound like something like as if it's trying to like do something, like maybe rip the walls, or I don't know, something along those lines? What is that? What does that sound?
Dopplering?
It sounds like something scaling the tower.
That's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought. It's a robotic fish monster. Okay. Something scaling the tower. That doesn't make any sense.
It's the it probably took over our robot friend.
No.
All that time on this ship?
What do you
If
mean
it's
no?
scaling it, it's got to be faster. It's got to be more agile. It's not going to be something that is a hulking giant robot. It's something completely different.
Monkey
Maybe.
robot.
Isn't the tower slanted?
Yes. Not by much. It's definitely not designed to be walked up.
Yeah, exactly. Something that, I mean, it could be one of these drones that have been repurposed because they have claws, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be one of these drones, like combat drones repurposed. It could be multiple combat drones. I mean, remember, these drones were partitioned, meaning they were separated from everything else. But there has to be more of them, which means that the douchebag AI acting like Raish Bartmoss has taken control of an army of drones, as well as those little bees as well. And those things have claws. They can tear through this. Can they, like, yeah, can I?
If they could get in, they would have got in years ago.
Yeah, but there was no one around.
There were. There weren't
no
people
organic
around,
matter.
But there were networks to connect to. Surely it would want to get in here and try and mess those up.
Wait a minute, though. Jarex is right. Because all the equipment was destroyed. Right?
Outside of this room.
Outside of this room. Every piece of equipment was destroyed. Then it's one of two things. It's either that is how the AI is tracking, and the moment, notice everything went wrong the moment we stepped into that bulkhead, in that hole. Why did it go wrong? Because we all have agents. We had communications. We had ways for them to be able to track us. So we're being tracked. It knows that we're up here. That's why it's sending them up. We have to destroy our agents. If we do so, they probably will not, it's almost like a heat-seeking missile, right? If you remove the heat, the missile has nothing to track, so it just goes off into the distance. That could very well be the same thing here. It isn't tracking organic matter, it's tracking electromagnetic energy or whatever. I don't know, science shit.
There's a simple way to test this, Monarch. That's a really good idea. Jarex told us to destroy his agent, so what if we strap an EMP grenade to the agent, chuck it out the door?
Just go for it.
No. That doesn't solve anything. It's all of our agents. If you chuck an EMP here, it's going to deactivate everything. Who knows what else it could possibly deactivate? How am I the voice of reason here? That sounds like a thing that I would say, Natalie.
It was a test!
I've started
you have no respect for the scientific method, Monarch.
I've started gathering all the agents. I'm tying them together in a bundle. Yeah, yeah. I like it.
Sideshow, I want you to make a skill check to see what you found. You said that you were searching around the area. I want you to pull that skill check.
Perception, conceal, reveal object.
I would allow either of those.
Okay. Let's try perception. 13.
Okay. You found some schematics that show the floor, the control system for the ship, the nuclear battery underneath, and a big red exclamation point right underneath that.
A big red exclamation point. Does it have a key? Is there some kind of identification for what that means?
Well, I mean, it's in Japanese, and it just says emergency on it in English.
I mean, emergency exit, detonation.
Is there a lot of Japanese text?
Yes, there is.
On my very useful agent that should not be thrown away, that I have downloaded the translation.
Yeah, I would pass it over to Natalie then if she thinks she knows how to decipher this further.
Okay. ECCM System Purge. Electronic Countermeasures System Purge.
I read this out loud off my screen, just very... System Purge! ECCM!
Yeah, that'll either wipe the entirety of the garden, or it'll be really good for getting rid of the stuff outside. Or maybe both, but I don't know which.
Can we ask the
first steps first, we have to find it, so I guess that'll be my task. I'm gonna try and dig around, around where the battery area was, to see if I can find this emergency button or switch or whatever the hell it is.
Okay, as you lift off a grate and start climbing down below, all the robots nearby immediately look at you.
Don't mind me, doing some normal technician work. Just making sure that all of the emergency systems are functioning.
Garden integrity threatened. Do not approach.
Not approaching, I'm disappearing. And I duck into the hatch and close it behind me.
Okay. Monarch and Natalie, and then we're going to go back to Jerax in the garden. What do the two of you do? All the robots are immediately paying attention to Jim Fingers.
Do they move after him after he pops down the grate?
They look like they're about to.
I yell, halt.
Halt, who goes there?
Garden integrity compromised.
Garden integrity not compromised. Technician approaching core. Stand down.
Roll bureaucracy.
Let's go, dude. Do it, right?
Or business or something else. Whatever you want to throw at him.
Oh, bureaucracy. Whatever's higher. Whatever's higher.
Let's
go.
Okay. They look over to... They listen to you, and then they consult with management. They all look over to the robot who's currently connected to the mainframe. And speaking of which, inside the mainframe, in the garden, the 4 standing on the water, 1, 2, and 4 are remaining silent. 3 glances for a moment and says,
"You have permission to remove Deep 4. Your framework is insufficient to contain it." Is the technician operating under your authority?
Am I aware of who the technician is?
Nope. You cannot perceive meat space.
Technician? This wasn't part of the plan.
What's up, Jerax?
This wasn't part of the plan. Yes.
The first rule
The
of
technician
acting,
will
yes,
remove
and.
Deep 4. When Deep 4 is removed, the hostile AI will attack. You must deploy any and all countermeasures available to you to destroy the hostile AI and secure Deep 4.
Yep, that sounds like it's part of the agreement. I'm gonna jack out. Before I go, is there anything you'd like to say to Hanako?
Tell her thank you for staying with us, and it was our honor to work for her.
Absolutely, will do. I'm gonna jack out.
Okay. You return to meat space. When you do so, you see a hole in the grate. A section of grate has been pulled up. A bunch of robots are aiming, like are pulling their guns away from it, and you can see the light gleaming off of Jim Finger's head down there.
Jim.
Hello.
Jim.
Hello. What's up?
I'm gonna crawl down the hole. Oh wait, hold on. I'm okay. Gang, hold on. Quick little 5 seconds. If I could just take 5 seconds of your time. So, the data is about to be extracted. We're getting what we came here for. Once the data is extracted, the rogue AI is just gonna swarm on us and pounce on us. So you need to get everything that we've got ready. Eating, micro EMPs, bullets, flamethrower, everything needs to be pointed at any sort of exits, entrances where the AI is going to be coming.
There's like a switch down here that says it'll.
Don't press that yet.
No.
At all.
Is there a way for us to repurpose these machines, these drones, to fight with us?
I mean, the drones will be fighting with us temporarily. They're just operating.
You said
the
data
drones
was going to be extracted. How's that happening?
The drone, I don't know yet. I'm figuring it out. The drones are just operating on basic protocols at the moment, but presumably they can be taken over, and they presumably will. But they are going to be fighting for us temporarily. The data, I'm going to be real with you, Jim. They didn't give me much information. They said that my brain wasn't sufficient enough to carry all the information either, so I have no fucking idea how we're getting it out. Is it a flash drive? Is it just a portable piece?
What if 2 people carried it?
Can I roll an interface check to see if that might work?
Well, based on what information? The only information you've been provided is that your framework is insufficient to store it. theoretically, a system could be distributed amongst multiple participants, but you have not been given that information at the moment.
I don't know.
You have to do more investigation of some kind.
We have to go back in.
Yeah,
you have to find this out.
I can go back in.
What about?
I can ask them.
I mean, technology's come a long way in the last 23 years as well. The storage on our agents is pretty decent compared to what was available on.
Don't put it on our agents.
I mean, 23 years ago, you would have required what, like a block this big to store what's on our tiny little agents. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no,
it's like Moore's Law has just carried on this entire time.
I've already left them with a cool one-liner. I can't go back in. It would just be weird if I went back in.
You're not willing to go back in to see if we can extract more data?
It was really cool. I was like, tell Hanako. Wait, no, I didn't say that, but I said, like, do you want anything? Do you want me to say anything to Hanako?
Just get back in there, man.
And they were like, and then they gave me, it was like very heart-wrenching, you know? It was like, there's a back and forth between me and them. Anyway, the point is, I think we just wing it, Monarch. We separated between me and you. We have to try and get the hell out of here real quick. I mean, what is it? What is the alternative?
Do you have access to this information? How do you find it? Where are you extracting it from? What's the hookup?
It's in the maintenance tunnel. That's why they were about to shoot you before.
It's down here.
But
I'll be able to get it out in a jiffy. Don't worry about it then.
Do you have any means of storing it?
It's probably just a big block of hard drives or something, isn't it? It's 23 years ago, mate. I remember dicking around with stuff like that.
Okay,
it was all solid state.
Okay, anybody
back in the day.
Stuck in the middle of the ocean with the dumbest people.
Jarex, by the way, now that you're outside, you can hear just clunk, 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 something large clambering around on the outside of the tower.
Yeah, I was gonna let you know about this. They know where we are. It's because of the freaking agents, man. They know where we are. They're trying to get through this. The reason why they haven't been able to find it is because it's been isolated, and there's nothing that could give them information, the rogue AI info that this thing is here.
So
not even process of elimination. Oh wait, no, they probably knew it was in here. Don't worry, guys.
yeah, it's too late now. They already know we're here. Well,
okay,
might as well keep them. They're worth a few eddies.
As soon as we take this hard drive and this data, the rogue AI is going to attack because this is what it's after.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is we need to get combat ready for where they're going to be coming in through. Now the robots are going to be helping us a little bit, but what do we want our plan to be? Do we want some sort of decoy and diversion, EMP grenades with the agents? If you think that's how they're tracking us, EMP grenades with the agents out the front door, we escape out the latch, grapple hook out the back while they take the brute front force of the damage.
So smart.
That actually doesn't sound like a bad idea.
That's a really good plan.
Yep, sounds good to me. Like I said, there's also a switch down here, which once we get the data,
the switch is going to kill 16 people.
Hold on.
They're not people anymore.
What if we attach the agents to the robots and send the robots out?
They are people, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much of an existence.
But they can still be saved.
They can't be saved. I mean, are we extracting their consciousnesses as well?
That's impossible, but...
Well, then they're just going to... As soon as that AI gets in here, they're going to infect the system because they're going to be in here locally, and those poor little people are going to turn into your mum. Little, like, rash...
Nah, they can still be saved.
They can't be saved. Kill them and save ourselves.
See, now Jerax is conflicted because he has to believe they can be saved. Otherwise, what is the point? Is he doing this all for his brother? For nothing? Jim is... Why does Jim want to die?
No. Listen, why do you want to die? How do you think we're going to disable millions of B drones without some kind of large level
we're not going to be able to win.
Countermeasures?
What do you even know what this button does at the bottom of here?
It says emergency countermeasures.
Emergency countermeasures.
Hey, it has a big red exclamation mark. You press it, good things happen. Normally, I would say.
Nope. Can't say that from experience. Push a big red button one time, almost shot Booger's face off.
How about this? Try your thing with the EMP grenades. If there still looks like we're gonna get turned into Swiss cheese, I'm hitting the fucking button. I'm not going down here just to protect some 16 people who are living in a little garden for the rest of their mechanical lives. It's not happening. I got flesh and blood to worry about. Their skulls are at the bottom of this tower. It's not happening. I am getting out of here, Jerax.
I think they can still be saved.
If we have a way to save these people, we gotta save them.
Well, how about you run out of there with one of the drones?
Turn on the satellite phone?
Go again, Natalie?
Can we upload them? Is there a way to filter what can be uploaded over the satellite phone? Like send the 16 brains out and then stop it before the virus tries to...
So the issue is that a human mind is an unbelievably vast amount of data. It would be like trying to download World of Warcraft on a 56K baud modem. Is it doable? Theoretically, if you're sending it to a place that has enough storage capacity to hold all that information, and you've got like days for 16 full minds to be transmitted over this, satellite connection.
We don't got that.
We don't have the time to do that.
Again, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that's definitely not going to work. Or at least if you can hold out for 16 days, sure.
If we can hold them off. There's 16 days worth of food.
Can we send our nomad friend out to run to Fry's? Get us nomad hardware?
Well, you've got a local jammer going on right now, so you could try turning off the jammer and getting a message out.
Would that potentially unleash a malevolent AI upon the world?
No, because even in AI, the virus size is going to be large. It would take a while to upload a virus via satellite phone.
Somebody's got to run the EXE too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hitting the button and saving us. That's my plan.
I'm following Jim down the tunnel.
Okay. I am taping agents, everyone's except mine, to one of the robots and then handing it an EMP grenade and coaching it.
You're gonna teach a robot how to use an EMP grenade? That is just the most kamikaze thing I've heard.
It's gonna blink.
I see.
All right.
Yeah.
Monarch, Natalie, you can almost feel the hatch buzzing, vibrating and humming with the swarms of tiny, tiny drones. Just gathering around the doors in the millions. Maybe thousands. You don't know. You haven't seen out there.
The outside and the outside hatch and the bottom hatch, right?
Yeah. The tower itself, only this room was like sealed. The rest of the tower was, they cut off everything and then they sealed themselves in. So, there's that. Jerax and Jim, as you crawl beneath this setup, you can see a massive amount of machinery, power cables, data cables, processing, and there are two odd things down here. One is the nuclear battery. It's, again, just designed to be locked up in a tube, not open for, 50 plus years, and just keep on making energy. Just you sit there, it can't be refueled, can't be repaired, can only be replaced. Just keep making energy, don't do anything. There is a big red switch with a huge cover on it and a massive lever locking that. That one says emergency on it. ECCM is electronic countermeasures. So electronic countermeasures is when you use scrambling, hacking, etc. to disable the enemy's weapon systems. And electronic countermeasures is when you do the same to stop them from messing with your stuff. So there's a big red switch on the nuclear battery. From what you know about nuclear batteries, again, they don't explode. They're not fissile material. But whatever the switch is attached to has a lot of capacitors on it. Without a tech check or more analysis, I'm not going to tell you more, but there is another object down here. It is sealed inside a Faraday cage. It's probably about as large as if you put your hands out just over shoulder wide, so maybe like a meter long. It's this silvery, polished chromium canister. It's sealed up very, very tight, and it just has the words Deep 4 printed on it. You imagine this container weighs at least 300 pounds.
How large is it again, sorry?
It's like a meter wide. So it's just like a silver barrel essentially, or a silver capsule, 3 feet long with handles. Okay. But it's dense. And it's clearly, it's in a Faraday cage and it's air gapped.
Yeah. Okay. We pop an EMP down here, Jerax. That Faraday cage is going to protect whatever data's in there. As soon as we take it out the Faraday cage, if we are being attacked, no defense. Can't pop the EMP then, because then all your data is going bye-bye. Unless you want to take the cage as well. But then we'd have to find some way of floating the material inside the cage. And it's that shit looks heavy.
And we could lift the cage.
Yeah, but if it's touching the cage, it's useless.
What? What is touching the cage?
If the inner material, if the drive itself is touching the cage, if it's not physically air gapped and has the cage around it, then it's not useful. So we'd have to find some way of, I don't know, suspending it with rope or something.
It is on top of like a rubber, it doesn't have to, it can't touch the sides. It has a built-in support inside the cage, but with the cage, it probably weighs 400 pounds.
Okay. I mean, we could try and transport it in this cage then, but I mean, I don't know how you want to do that. Also, I don't know. I mean, where are even the consciousnesses of these other people? Where are they? What piece of equipment are they uploaded to?
You rather suspect the massive supercomputer built into the bottom floor down here is probably the Garden's hardware.
Yeah, I know for a fact that they are drifting in and out of compression. 16 minds, only one of them can speak at a time.
What an existence. We should really keep that going.
They can still be saved. They want to be saved. I spoke to them.
Give them mercy, Jerax. Give them mercy.
I think there's another way. There's got to be another way.
There doesn't have to be. The other way could just be us all dying.
What's going on right now?
They're in the hole fighting.
What are our options?
Help me tape these agents on.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, we don't have much of a choice. But they know where we are. The AI knows where we are. Someone responded to the AI, so clearly they know where we are. Someone responded to the AI. Fucking Jim, dude, you responded to the freaking AI, and so it doesn't even matter. It knows exactly where we are. Even if we do anything with the agents, it doesn't matter. It needed to know where we are. That's why I kept pinging. That's why I kept knocking. It kept saying knock, knock. And then you had to be a dick and respond and say, who's there?
I mean, okay, yeah. What's up? Who's there? How's it going?
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe it'd chill out.
No, it's not gonna chill out.
No, apparently it didn't.
All right, I need to know, where the hell is this AI at? Because the only other option, if we want to salvage this thing, is if we blow it up.
Yeah, I think that is the option. Otherwise, we're killing 16 innocent people.
So, take out my rocket. Point me in the direction, because we got to blow this sumbitch up. And there's a lot of little bees and God knows what else between us and that thing. We got to find it.
I'm staying down here. And if it looks like we're going to get overwhelmed, I'm hitting this button. That's it. That's what I'm doing.
The moment we open that door, we're gonna get overwhelmed.
No.
Well, we're gonna have to do it before we move the Faraday cage and before we move the D4.
I don't think there's any other option. The more I think about it, the more I don't think there's any option. Because
I agree.
The alternative is to open the doors, the floodgates open, the AI comes in, we fight them off, but even if we fight them off, they've got into the air-sealed room. Like, the system is compromised. Are you sure this is an EMP? Can I do a check that this is like some sort of EMP device?
Yeah, you can do basic tech, weapons tech, whatever you got. Go ahead and give it a gander.
I'll do basic tech. 18.
It's an EMP. It uses the nuclear battery to generate an EMP.
And this, the data, Deep 4, is protected?
Deep 4 is protected. The Garden is not.
So if we were to activate this, we would have a moment to escape. And is it still £300 outside of the case?
Yes. Because the case appears to be like sealed pretty tight. It's £400 if you take the cage. £300 if you're just carrying the capsule itself.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can see if the Monarch's earlier idea is viable.
There's no way we're going to be able to...
The garden gets compromised no matter what. If we open the door, the garden is compromised. And we will die.
The one thing that hasn't been further investigated is if Deep 4 can be distributed. Which I'm not promising it can, I'm just saying that is a line of inquiry that you raised earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jarex didn't want to go back in and ask them because he'd already finished with
you
the
know
wiki
what?
one-liner.
Screw this shit. I'm going back in. I'm going to go and talk to these guys.
Oh, no.
We got to figure something out here, all right? And we can't just keep dicking around waiting for these bees to come in here and kill us all. So what did you tell them? We
need to find out what the data requirements are for Deep 4. That's the only information we need to know. I've set up that we are, as far as we all know, working for Arasaka to get this data to them, to Tokyo.
Oh, you know, all because you just had to make a cool line. Well, I'm gonna go and just jack in.
They know.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Monarch sits down in the chair, plugs himself in. The world goes shining bright and vanishes away. And you are standing in a beautiful, peaceful garden. You are the only one in the garden, except for a well-dressed woman in mourning garb. You just immediately recognize it as like funeral garb. And she says, "Welcome, loyal employee. It is with great sorrow that I induct you into the garden. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. By doing this, you secure the hope for humanity, a better future, freedom from death itself."
Wait. Can I interrupt the protocol?
You can do whatever you'd like.
I'm not here to be inducted into the garden. I'm here to save you. We may have found a way to save all of you as well as Deep 4. We were sent here by Arasaka to retrieve everything that is here and to protect Deep 4 along with you all. But I need information and I need answers, and we do not have a lot of time. Can you help me?
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, son of a fucking bitch. I swear to God, dude. All because Jarek's gonna fucking just do standard ass bullshit. Oh, God, this is gonna be bad. 16.
In the garden, you will be preserved, and we will protect you with all that we have until such a time as we find a way to bring you back. And
I'm
in the
telling
event
you,
that
I found a way.
She stops and freezes mid-gesture.
Terminating soul killer process.
And with that, suddenly she vanishes and the garden all around you is populated by other figures.
You did it, Shinji.
Whew, holy shit. Because, episode 1, Oral just got killed in the middle of the street. And I'm not trying to get my brain fried right now. I type like Monarch. All right. I look around.
Are you part of the extraction team?
Yes, I'm a part of the extraction team sent here by Arasaka.
Why have you not removed Deep 4 from its chassis?
Because I have a question. Can 2 brains hold Deep 4?
Analyzing. Potentially.
What do you mean potentially?
We do not have access to Deep 4. You must remove it from its chassis and connect it to the garden. It is possible the same compression processes that allow us to preserve the lives of our crewmates will allow for distributed storage of Deep 4.
All right. And what about you guys?
That will not be possible. Deep 4 is consolidated information. It will be smaller than our own engrams.
And Monarch paces.
Digitally.
He digitally paces. And he asks, what happened here?
Our vessel's systems and all external systems were compromised by a hostile AI. We assume it was part of the Fourth Corporate War. When initial emergency protocols failed, and we were unable to abandon ship, we reverted to the Garden Protocol. All personnel underwent voluntary soul killer abduction for storage and preservation.
Is the rogue AI present on this ship right now?
We do not have access outside of the garden. The garden is air-gapped.
No, but what I'm asking is there a physical presence of the rogue AI?
We do not know. We have severed all outside connections. If the rogue AI is still present, it must be housed in the engine mainframe.
That was it. Fucking engine. Last question. Why did you guys destroy all the technology leading up to the tower? What did you learn about the AI?
It is aggressive and voracious. And when connected to a netrunner, it emulates Soul Killer's processes.
When connected to a netrunner? So someone connected to this thing?
No, the AI was able to secure netrunners, download their engrams, and incorporate them into itself. It is a mobile, rogue soul killer with the personality engram of a hostile outsider.
No information on who this outsider may have been?
We cut off access to the outside world in order to prevent its spread. We have no additional information.
Copy that. We're going to save you. We're going to find a way to do it. And I don't know how much this is worth, but you have my word.
Thank you.
And
we are all willing to die to preserve Deep 4. The continuity of everything we've worked for depends on it. I do not want to die.
Yeah, you see, that's the part where you kind of throw me off. You know what I'm saying, Poppy? Because you say that and then you say the other thing. It's just crazy. That said, we'll do our best.
Service is sufficient. I have a family.
Where are they right now?
I don't know.
Where were they last?
Tokyo.
At this point, Tokyo is okay, right? In the
Yeah.
timeline?
Yeah, no, it still exists. Didn't get
Yeah.
nuked or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll inform the AI. Tokyo is safe. And hopefully your family is too.
Please tell them that Toshiro Nori misses them.
Toshiro Nori. You got it. Well,
Service is sufficient.
It's just the one guy saying all these things, by the way.
yeah. Is there any way that I could talk to any of the other protocols present right now?
We are speaking.
We. So who else is in there besides Toshiro Nori?
There are 16 engrams contained within the garden. For storage purposes, they have been compressed and reallocated.
And why is Toshiro Nori the one that speaks for everyone?
Toshiro Nori does not speak for everyone.
Does everyone else want to be saved?
Yes. But the preservation of Deep 4 is paramount.
All right. Well, I'm going to proceed to jack out.
All right. All this happens within the blink of an eye. Jerax, I think you were trying to say something during that time, and the rest of you, as Monarch disconnects, does anyone have anything?
Jim was trying to say something, I think.
I mean, I don't have any further information because Monarch hasn't relayed anything yet. I'm still intending to hit this button and wipe them all out to save ourselves.
Here we are, and I get up, and I'm like, I never want to do that shit ever again. That was a miserable experience. How did anyone even enjoy that? Jeez. Anyway, I saw the garden. They were also trying to, get me into their whole freaking garden protocol thing. That was trippy. I had to yell at the lady. Worked out really well. Felt good about it personally. Anyway, here's the deal. Apparently the same compressed software, I don't know, Jerax, maybe you know what this is, that helped them out, that made them what they are. Apparently that could theoretically work to compress Deep 4 into 2 brains, and we may not be able to, we probably don't have to lug this thing around, we probably don't have to cue an EMP, we just got to try a way to get this thing into our brains. So it's possible. Wish you just would have went in their ass, you prideful son of a bitch.
Yeah, okay, it's possible. And then what about the AI?
They want to be saved. All of them. I talked to Toshiro Nori, and he was not necessarily speaking for everyone, but when asked if they all wanted to be saved, all 16 collectively said yes. So, and Jim, you're probably gonna hate it, but I kind of made a promise, and when a Boricua makes a promise, we gotta hold to our promises, and I mean, so we don't really have much of a choice here. We gotta find a way to save them. This
you can all try your best.
Shut up for a minute. You've been useless this whole time. Here's the deal. Apparently, a rogue AI, a traveling soul killer, a mobile soul killer, took the minds of all these net runners, and that is what made this situation, and it's located in engineering.
Is there a way? Can I roll something? Okay, so I have a plan. I don't know if it'll work, and it's incredibly risky, but the first step of it is being able to move this EMP.
Okay.
So presumably, as we're going into the maintenance tunnels to get access to Garden, it's all sealed off.
Correct.
So the AI can't get in. But presumably, the way that the schematics work is that we could cut a hole in somewhere around there. The AI is currently trying to get in through the door and the hinge. We could cut a hole in through something. We still have a blowtorch available with half fuel upstairs. Jim stays behind, seals the thing up. We take a hit team of the 4 of us. Me, Jonah, Natalie, Monarch. 4 of us. Stealth operation into the engine room with the mobile EMP. We arm it with your detonation skills, Monarch. We get the hell out of there. We kill the AI, and the people of the garden are saved. Jim doesn't have to risk his neck.
I like it.
How are you gonna? So where are you cutting a hole?
So, Jim,
you're cutting a hole in the floor of the maintenance tunnels.
You have some knowledge of the general schematics of the building. Natalie, I think you do as well from your earlier library searches. So we should know a rough area of where we can cut into to essentially. We also know roughly the path of least resistance to get to the engine room. Now, currently the AI is concentrated at the 2 doors because that's where they think that it's the only way in.
Yeah,
so
I can keep texting them. If you leave all the agents with me, I'll just keep sending knock jokes back and forth.
Exactly. We can accumulate all of the robots. Now, the maintenance tunnels, if we cut a hole in at the bottom, somewhere around there, we can find an entryway to get to the engine room, arm the EMP, get out of there, kill the rogue AI, and keep the garden safe.
Yeah,
we need that thing to land.
That far from the garden, it'll be safe, right? You take it all the way down to the engine room?
It should be, yeah.
Sounds like a good plan.
Can I do a check to see the radius of to understand the strength of this EMP? A demolitions check, maybe?
Yeah, roll a demolitions check.
Oh,
we
boy.
decided the EMP is portable.
This is going to be an interesting one. 12.
This device is designed to wipe the ship.
So it will wipe the engine room as it stands?
Yes. Yes.
But if we take it to the engine room,
there is a chance you've got enough crap between point A and point B.
Mm-hmm.
Enough, metal and such that it may at least insulate it partially from the effects. These things aren't exact. If you can get it all the way into the back of the ship, maybe it could happen.
Okay.
But isn't the EMP attached to the nuclear battery? Aren't you going to be removing the power source from the garden? So they're just going to...
yes.
Well, I suppose that doesn't actually kill AI, does it? If you just remove their battery, you can just plug it back in later on.
If you do it
they're gonna
carefully.
starve to death.
I wouldn't want to just power surge my PC, but...
Does it need the nuclear component, or can we arm it with some other explosives? Can we separate the capacitors?
You would require something else to set off the main charge.
Wait a minute.
What about the grenades we've got?
We've got 2 EMP grenades. We could just take those to the engine room.
Why don't I just shimmy my way down if there's a way for us to get down from this tower, because presumably they're all surrounding the doors, and I just shoot that motherfucker in the gooch with a rocket launcher?
Who?
Can't believe we didn't think of that.
The AI.
But the AI is not a person, it's a collective.
I understand, but it's in the engine room.
Yeah, it's somewhere down there. But I don't know if that'll be enough to like an EMP would do a very thorough job of killing it.
Well, we also...
I think a rocket launcher might not kill it, and then it would immediately know where we are. I think we've got one shot at this.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I'm just thinking of the possibility of us potentially destroying the 16 mines that are inside of there.
Yeah, I'm trying to calculate it. If we do it right at the bottom of the ship, then...
But we also have to remove the battery, which means we have to shut them down.
Sure, they would have to go dormant for a while.
But there's a possibility they could all die from that process alone. So we'll be doing this for nothing.
Okay, well, let's just use the EMP grenades that we've got then.
How about we take the EMP grenades and then we destroy it with a rocket?
Yeah, okay. Okay, this is the plan, because Jim clearly wants to get out of jail free card here, okay? Jim can stay behind and blowtorch the hole that we create with my mono katana, okay? So Jim is the one sealing up the AI thing. He still has access to the battery and the EMP, so that if we don't return in like 2 hours, he'll know if we're successful. The buzzing will stop. If we're not successful, he can then set off the EMP himself, take the data out of there, and get out alive.
Sure.
Yeah. That's the agreement.
I want to
Okay.
get
Yeah, leave all your agents with me. Leave any electronic devices with me. We need to... I mean, I would even say leave your RFID with me, but maybe there'll be some doors where you'll need them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You wanted to
Now,
make it
Question,
look like
question to the
still
game
here.
master. Net running gear and interfaces, is that considered in the same vein as all of this?
So, in Cyberpunk Red, unlike Cyberpunk 2077, there are no quick hacks, or if there are, that source book hasn't been released yet. So you cannot be wirelessly hacked. Your agent could definitely be wirelessly hacked, but right now, as it stands, if you have like a neural interface or a deck, they can't be wirelessly accessed. You can just turn off your deck, because your deck is the thing that lets you remote into things, right? It's the thing that powers net running. The neural interface is what lets you plug in. So that chair you plugged into basically had its own built-in deck, which is why you were able to interface, whereas you couldn't normally. So as long as the deck is powered off, you should not be susceptible to remote hacking.
So I don't have a deck, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I
Jerax
do,
has a deck.
so I need to turn mine off.
Yeah, you just turn it off.
Have
You
you
make
told
an
me this,
interface
Monarch?
check, and you become vulnerable.
Okay. All right. Well, I would turn my off. Are we? Does this plan sound good? Does everyone agree with this? So we need Natalie's knowledge of the inner workings to get to the engine room as stealthily as possible. We need Monarch's skill in demolitions. I guess I'm just gonna come for backup and to cut this hole and come with you guys.
Do we leave Jonah with
Yeah.
Jim?
Yeah. And then Jim stays behind to seal himself back in so the AI can't get in
Yep.
with our agents. Sound good?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, basically we're reenacting the penultimate level of Halo here. First you gotta, like, withdraw the things, and then you gotta shoot the explosives into the things. That's what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, that's actually what I was literally thinking of.
And then the Warthog run.
And then the Warthog run. We have no choice.
We are going to take a break here, and when we come back, we'll see if our heroes can brave a swarm of millions of drones and execute this plan.
Damn.